Man, half the year's already gone. I said I would at least make a couple of shorts by now. Snap. Man, I gotta make something. Does this sound familiar? You keep kind of getting swept up by the 9 to 5 and all your other obligations, and when you do have time, you don't really feel motivated. And all of this has been wearing on you. So part of the reason why you might be stuck in this holding pattern is you might be a little rusty on or missing some core skills, okay? Let's chat about the core 4 skills that every writer director needs to have in order to be able to make films consistently. These skills will allow you to do the following. 1, they will allow you to become more self-reliant, meaning you can make stuff regardless of whether you have things like crew, actors, budgets, etc. 2, having a solid grasp of these skills will make you a more effective leader when you are working with a crew, when you are scaling things up, right? It's a win-win situation. 3, these skills will allow you to keep the budgets down on your projects so you're not bleeding yourself dry every single time you want to make something. And with whatever money you do have, you'll be more cost effective. You'll be more efficient. I was able to make my first feature for about 30 grand when it could have easily cost over 100K. Only because of those core 4 skills, right? I had to wear a lot of hats to make that possible. 4, last but not least, these skills will allow you to make films more consistently. And you can do this around your busy schedule. These core 4 skills will allow you to remove like 98% of the BS that keeps you from actually making progress in actually making stuff. The first skill that you need is writing for the screen. And by writing, I don't just mean screenwriting. I mean story development, understanding how to write like a producer and how to write like a director with production in mind, how to write with logistics and practicality in mind. The intent is to write to shoot it. So here's what you should know. You need to understand the fundamental principles of drama really well. You need a character with a filmable goal and a filmable obstacle. These are the basic ingredients for visual storytelling, okay? When you have a really solid grasp of how to apply the fundamentals, how to apply those basic ingredients, it allows you to do the following. 1, it gives you the ability to make a story out of pretty much anything and have the confidence to know that it's going to be engaging. It's going to hold water with an audience. It's going to grab someone's attention. You know that second guessing that you're always doing when you try and write something? Yeah, you're not going to have as much of that when you have a really solid understanding of the basics, the fundamentals, and more importantly, how to apply them. 2, you'll have a much easier time writing to your resources, which means you can write more cost-efficient projects and do it more consistently. 3, you're gonna have an easier time writing those like really simple stories. You know, the ones where you're kind of scrolling around on YouTube looking for shorts to watch and you stumble onto something and it's just so eye-wateringly simple. You're like, how in the world did they come up with this? How is this possible? What am I missing? It's just so simple, but so good. If you're hazy on the fundamentals of visual storytelling, I did a video on it. I will link it down below. Know how to write compelling characters. Characters are only as interesting as what they do. You should know the difference between active characters and passive characters, okay? Basic story structure. This one is not as important as the last 2, but it's still really good for you to know. You know, like the inciting incident, rising action, climax, falling action or resolution. You should understand story structure as it relates to short films specifically, not just like feature films and like TV shows, right? Feature films and short films, very different animals, okay? Having a handle on these concepts helps you to know where you are in any story and what should kind of be happening to move things along. The second skill you need to know in the core 4 is how to shoot. Now, I'm not saying you need to become a DP, but you should know the basic camera settings, exposure triangle. You should know your way around a camera, frame rates, lensing choices, those things, okay? Et cetera, et cetera. You should have a strong working knowledge of basic film grammar, how to capture the action, how to capture emotion in a scene, using coverage, or using camera angles, camera moves, lensing choices, framing choices. Film grammar encompasses a lot of things. Film grammar is essentially like a language unto itself. So you should understand how to apply film grammar in your work and how to study it. You should understand like how to pull references and ways of applying film grammar from other people's work. Learning film grammar it's something you're always working on. It's something you're always studying. It's not really something you can master. You can tell the difference from the filmmakers who really like seek to understand storytelling and understand film grammar versus the filmmakers who just want to make pretty images. It's very evident in like the quality of the work. The beautiful thing though is when you really understand film grammar, it allows you to be able to make like really small moments feel big. It also allows you to tell simple stories really well, which allows you to do more with less and make a bigger impact with a smaller footprint. It allows you to make 10 cents look like $1. Who wouldn't want that, right? Which also allows you to shoot more often because you're more efficient. And because you're more efficient, it allows you to shoot projects more consistently. See how that all just kind of ties together? All those things, they just work together all day, every day, twice on a Sunday. They just interlock just like that. You should be comfortable operating your own camera, whatever that is. The only way to get there is you gotta be using your camera more than once every 6 months, bro. If you don't have a camera, maybe you should start by getting a camera, okay? Start there, get a cheap one, don't spend a lot on it. This is so you can learn like the basics, you know, camera settings and things, exposure triangle. In terms of film grammar, try and just soak up as much as you can about film grammar, about visual storytelling, from interviews from directors, videos on YouTube. Just study, study, study. Watch other films. Be prepared to ask why a lot. Like, why is the camera moving this way? Why did they pick this angle as opposed to any of these other angles? Why? That should be your favorite word. You should know how to edit, fam. To be more specific, you should understand how to edit for emotion, how to edit for pacing and flow, how to transition in and out of scenes, knowing when to use basic, you know, J and L cuts, smash cuts, very basic stuff. The goal isn't just to know how to edit. You want to be really effective at it. Having like a really good grasp of editing allows you to improvise on set. When things go like really wrong and you have to cut a whole bunch of shots you planned on getting, you can change things on the fly and have a really clear idea of how things are going to cut together later. It's a very powerful skill. Number 4 is, of course, sound, and I can see the look on all of your faces. I know, it's not sexy. Boning up on sound is like doing homework on a Saturday. I get it. But sound is 80% of the viewing experience. I mean, maybe more, honestly, because sound is what creates that immersion. An audience can tolerate a poor image, right? Because you could always assume like they just intended for it to look like shit, but they won't tolerate bad sound. That's like the first thing people will notice about your film. Like, the first thing. I kid you not. So some things you should know. Number 1 is, of course, basic audio recording. We want to understand good mic positioning techniques, basic room acoustics and how sound works in a room. In terms of post sound, we need to understand how to record ADR, Foley, dialogue editing, noise reduction, and cleanup, basic sound mixing. You should understand lean recording techniques for smaller projects, ways to record when you're working solo, etc. We want to have the option of doing that whole self-reliance thing, you know what I mean? Some action steps for this. If you don't have a sound recorder, you can use your phone for now. You can essentially learn the basic concepts with your phone if you're not familiar with them, or if you're just like rusty as all hell. I've done Foley and ADR using a cell phone in a few of my older BTS videos. I think maybe 1 or 2 of them for a few short films. It's not very difficult to do. If you want to get like a basic cheap recorder for now, the Zoom H1 handy recorder, that's a pretty good option. Don't sleep on sound, very important. Core 4 skills, cool, great, sounds awesome in theory, but how do we get there? If you don't have the core 4 down yet and you've been at this filmmaking thing for a while, then it's time to make a more coordinated effort to get these skills. This is how you do it. Step 1, pause studying secondary skills. You want to hold off on studying secondary skills like, oh, I don't know, directing, acting, color grading, VFX, videos on After Effects, lighting. While these skills are useful all day, every day in your productions, they're not gonna get you shooting. There's no sense in directing actors if you're not shooting anything. There's no sense in working on color grading and lighting if you can't even get like a small project across the finish line, right? If you're not shooting anything, there's no point in working on those things. So hold off on studying secondary skills until you got the core 4 down and you're actually making stuff. Step 2, change your mindset. Odds are if you're having lots of hang-ups upstairs, one of the contributing factors could be you probably got the masterpiece maker mindset. You can't afford to be a masterpiece maker right now. Not with your busy schedule, not with all those skill gaps you got, not with the complete lack of momentum you're experiencing right now. We need to change that mindset, okay? You need to adopt the rep chasers mindset. It's about getting more at-bats, closing those gaps in your skill set, finding those systems and processes that make you really efficient. So when your time broke, you know exactly what you could be doing to move the needle and you're not wasting time on stuff that's not really getting you progress on getting things done. You can make the masterpieces later when you actually have more momentum and you have a better idea of what it is you're doing. When you know how to consistently get stuff across the finish line. line, when you're actually making stuff, okay? Step 3, start making microfilms, bruh. You know I was gonna go there. The only way to work on the core 4 is to actually make films. You need the reps. Start where you are with what you have. You should be making 2 to 3 short films per month. We're talking small projects, okay? Small projects. Don't spend any money on these films. Don't spend a whole lot of time on these films. These films should be 5 minutes or less. Heck, 3 minutes or less. If you know any actors, great. Use them. If you don't have any actors, then use friends and family. Use yourself. You want to shoot the first couple of these small projects by yourself, at least the first couple. With each film, you only want to work on a few things at a time. Think of it like weightlifting. You can only work on like a few muscle groups at a time. Maybe for one film, you just work on your film grammar, right? You're not worried about lighting. You're not worried about sound. Just film grammar, pacing, editing. Then for that next film, maybe work on film grammar and then sound. You start stacking things. You keep working on a few things at a time with each project, and eventually stuff starts becoming second nature. It's like riding a bike. And when that happens, you can start scaling your projects up accordingly, organically. You'll be ready for more challenging things. So your first film is due, I don't know, in a week. After you finish watching this video, just start now. You can have excuses or you can have results, but you can't have both. Step 2, be accountability. If you're finding that when you set deadlines for yourself, they just, I don't know, they don't feel real. You just don't honor your own deadlines because they just don't feel real to you. Then you need to create a system to kind of address that piece, right? Maybe get an accountability buddy. One of the great things about film school was all the built-in accountability. You had the grades, everybody was doing the same thing. There was deadlines, right? There's classes you had to attend. So there was specific dates you had to be at a specific place at a specific time. But you can create a lot of these same dynamics on your own. You can find filmmaking meetups in your area. There's also online. Plenty of filmmaking communities you can join online. You want to find peeps who are at your level or maybe, you know, slightly above. Want to get to know each other? You want to challenge each other, hold each other accountable. Hey, let's shoot a project in a week and then show them to each other and we can critique each other's work. If you're married, you can ask your partner to help you with the whole accountability thing. Get creative. Hey, I'm getting back into filmmaking with narrative and I really want to hold myself accountable this time around. Thinking you can probably help me out in this department. If I don't finish this next little project that I'm doing in a week, then maybe, you know, no sex for a month. And as far as the feedback component, if you're finding that people are dragging their heels on the feedback thing, offer to pay them. Hey, my guy, I know we're both really busy, you know, crazy schedules, but I would really love it if you shared your thoughts on that last film I sent you, and I'll shoot you $20 just as a thank you, just to show my appreciation. I know, like paying somebody for feedback if they're dragging their heels, not ideal, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to incentivize people. You gotta meet people where they're at, okay? A little incentive doesn't hurt. Making more progress in filmmaking, at the end of the day, fam, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's all about working smarter, not harder. We are not curing cancer here, but again, the core 4. Okay? If you're finding it difficult to get films made around your crazy schedule, we can show you how to work smarter, not harder, with the limited time that you have. You know, show you how to optimize your time and your efforts so that you make way more progress in less time. So you're only spending your time on those things that are actually gonna move the needle for you. You will find details below on the Get to Shooting program. It's for intermediate writer-directors. The Get to Shooting program is not free. This is an intensive program with accountability, mentorship, and personalized feedback all built into it, okay? The financial investment and the results that you're going to get reflect this. It takes about 3 to 6 months on average to complete the program, okay? This is not a short span of time. Again, it is an intensive. We can only accept a small number of applicants at a time. If you're not really serious about making more progress with narrative, then this program probably not for you, okay? Again, GTS will push you outside your comfort zone. We're talking literally from day one, you're gonna be shooting. No exaggeration. You will be moving through the program with a cohort of other like-minded filmmakers. There are deadlines, so if accountability is an issue for you, yeah, we'll nip that in the bud. You can apply to the program, and if we are a good fit to work together, hey, we would love to work with you. We'll get you shooting more in the next 3 to 6 months than you have in the last 3 years. The next cohort, our next wave, is starting August 5th, very soon. Okay, so if you're interested, better jump on it. You can apply using the link below. When you do things in the correct order, you will find you won't have as much resistance. Things make more sense, and you actually have a lot more fun.